Welcome to the Frame by Frame podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Mogg. I had to take a little bit of a break, but I'm excited to announce that my very first feature documentary, 12, has just been announced and is in the works, and I am set to be the director for it. It's a dream, it's a goal I've had for a really long time, and part of the reason why I had to take a little bit of break here on the podcast is because I was doing a lot of bit of behind the scenes work, creative development, different things like that. And being a parent, a small business owner, a husband, while doing production projects, there's not a lot of time for extra side project. So that is starting to get off the ground, and I'm excited to share in today's episode a little bit of what the film's about, the process has been so far, and what I'll be sharing behind the scenes in future episodes going forward. So stay tuned. Here's the newest episode of Frame by Frame. So it's hard to believe it's been a couple months now since I posted the episode. That's my bad. Time flies by, and if any of you have ever tried podcasting, it is definitely a lot to take on by yourself between scheduling the guests, doing the editing, coming up with the episode ideas, planning, shooting, all the things. And so I was loving it when I first started during the year, but things picked up behind the scenes, like I said, and had to take my attention elsewhere. But podcasting, sharing my career mistakes, my wins, all the things is something I really enjoy, and I want to keep trying and keep going as best I can. And so, yes, big documentary 12 was just announced with Marshawn Lynch, former Seattle Seahawks running back, and Beast Mode Productions serving as executive producers, along with Victory Sports Media. And that's where the story kind of all begins. My dear friend Madeline Down, who was on an earlier episode on this podcast, which you should definitely check out. She and I have been friends, colleagues for a long time. I was the assistant director for her short film earlier this year, which just got announced to premiere at Holly Shorts, which is very, very exciting. We had just kicked around this idea of how it's kind of an unknown story or forgotten one that the Seahawks were very, very close to moving to Anaheim in the 90s. And when I stop and think about that, I mean, my life, my career looks very, very different if the Seattle Seahawks are not here in town. And so the story centers around the city's fight to save the team. Maddie and I developed a sizzle reel for it a while back, and it just got into the right hands over at Victory Sports Media with Jay Khanna. He is a longtime talent agent who's now turned into producer. His group is turning out a bunch of amazing sports docs. They're kind of an exciting, newer group in the sports doc space and are looking to be movers and shakers, and I really appreciate that about them. And they like this sizzle that Maddie and I had come up with. And from there, we really just developed it out further. We put together a pitch deck, kind of the behind the scenes story of what really happened and how to make that into a compelling documentary. And it's been a long time of waiting, meetings, paperwork, all the things. And Maddie thankfully has a great relationship with Marshawn and Beast Mode, and she presented the creative to him and the team. They loved it. They wanted to be on board. I think the impact that obviously the team and Paul Allen had on Marshawn in his life, he wants to honor the 12s, as do we all, and along with Mr. Allen and just the good faith he showed to the city throughout this process. So that's where it's kind of been in development land for a really long time. And it started to come together. Marshawn was officially attached not too long ago. We're hoping to shoot here in fall of 2025. Knock on wood, fingers crossed. This is all very new for me, and I'm excited to share what I learned, different insights, how to structure and put a documentary like this together. I think for me, it's really about finding the heart of the story. And for me, as a 12 myself, for as long as I can remember, the Seahawks have always been a way just to kind of connect to the region, connect to the city, connect even with my family. And I know that there's many others out there in this area and beyond that connect to the Seattle Seahawks. And I really take the approach of almost like a superhero origin story. I think we see the Super Bowls, we see all the success that the team has had the last 15, 20 years and how relevant they are throughout the NFL now. But it was honestly very real and very close that they would not be here right now. And I think the city of Seattle, I think the region, I think even the NFL looks a lot different if the Seahawks don't stay here. And so I kind of want to bring that as like the heartbeat and the pulse of the story. And there's a couple really hardcore, dedicated fans that were part of the grassroots movement of saving the Seahawks, which I want to, honor them. And then there's also folks on kind of the legal and legislation side that, did what they had to do to keep the team, to get in touch with Mr. Allen. And Mr. Allen really came in and stepped in and wanted to do it as part in partnership with the people of Seattle. So it's blending all those different elements together. We want to lean into some dramatic recreations. I think that's something I'm really excited to sink my teeth in and take a chomp at is how does the recreations, enhance and move the story along while tapping into this 90s Seattle culture that's become pretty popular again, both from the Seahawks and the throwbacks era, but just I feel like that 90s nostalgia is coming back a little bit in pop culture. So I'm excited to blend those things together. So that's kind of where we are. I'm in development, trying to really flesh out those storylines and who's going to be interviewed, who's going to be featured, different things like that. I've gotten a ton of messages about crew and all that. And I think the beautiful part for me, at least, is I'm kind of used to being like very in the weeds, putting together production crews. And with that, my good friend and dear partner, Madeline Down, is in charge of really all the crew and the staffing. We have a really great tandem team going with that so far. And she's, honestly pushing me and blessing me to really just direct, to focus on the story, focus on making the best documentary I can. And she'll be the one kind of boots on the ground, figuring out all the production logistics, which honestly is really freeing and something that I'm just incredibly excited about, to have all this creative energy and thoughts I've had over the years and really pour into this one project, into something that I feel like I know better, just as much or better than anyone else, which is Seahawks football, the city of Seattle, and the pulse that the team has on the city here. So I couldn't be more excited. That's where things stand, and that's why I've taken a break, as I've said. And you might be wondering, where am I filming right now? And I am in the beautiful Motion State office here in Seattle. Motion State is a production company I partner with quite a bit on different things. They are one of, if not the best production company in town. They have all the amazing equipment, fancy arm cars, drones, all the different things. They've been just dear friends and great partners to work with. And I'm doing a little bit more work out of their office. So you'll probably be seeing some more videos shot here. Definitely check them out on Instagram. They have some of the coolest production behind the scenes that you'll ever see. So frame by frame, looking ahead, I have a couple guests that I have sent some requests to and looking to get on the books here. I'll be dropping those episodes as soon as I can. There's a lot of different things happening in the entertainment world, so I'm trying to, blend those people of producers, directors, filmmakers, but also maybe lean into some different areas that people are interested in. Just would love to kind of cast a wide net and try to appeal to as many different people out there that are trying to, expand their careers, to grow and learn, as, I have as well. That's something I've pretty dug deep into, is trying to study and learn from different filmmakers on, how to make a great documentary. So I benefit from those resources, probably from people that are a few steps ahead of me. And I'm hoping I can kind of do the same thing to people that are, in a different stage, maybe a little bit earlier than I am. I can kind of reach back and give back that way. So stay tuned. Would love to have you on this journey as I make my first full feature documentary. Make sure you subscribe, you follow the show, hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. I would really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of Frame by Frame.